I don't think that there's any reason to make the trade war worse. I think it goes back to a Cold War mentality of America. They are going to focus negative attention on China until the end of the Trump administration. Most European countries don't want to get involved in the middle of a new Cold War between Donald Trump and China for a couple of reasons. First is that Donald Trump may be president for just a few more months, and they don't want to do anything that has long-term political and economic consequences if there's a president who's just around for a few more months. Secondly, Europe has a different view of the superpower rivalry than the United States. The United States, during the Trump era, has stepped up the containment strategy. Europe right now wants to figure out how they can create an economic situation where European countries can have improved economic relations with China. I think that Europe as a whole is different than the UK, but I think Donald Trump will try to use whatever pressure points he has to push Europe away from China, and I think Europe will try to step back. I think an important moment is going to be the G7, if there is a G7 meeting in the United States this year, because I think that's when Donald Trump will really put pressure on the largest industrial democracies. He's allowed to invite anyone he wants. I mean, they can come as observers. And I think that the intention is to sort of have an anti-China week, a week of attempts to isolate China economically and diplomatically. I don't know if that will work. It will work in terms of having the Prime Minister of India there, having the leaders of Australia there. I don't think they'll have any problem criticizing China. But I think that South Korea, I think even Japan, and definitely the leaders in Europe don't want to be seen as part of a Donald Trump re-election campaign photo opportunity or an anti-China cheering section. While all of them have economic concerns about China and some of them have strategic concerns, I don't think that they want to make the situation worse with China. I think they see Donald Trump as someone who is hard to control and impulsive, and they don't want to be part of anything that will be hard to change in case there's a new American president in 2021. Well, the motivation behind the move of the FBI director and the attorney general is to make China a big issue in the United States during this presidential election year. Again, the motives don't matter, whether they're doing this to help Donald Trump win re-election or because they think China is a threat. It's just a fact that it's happening and that they are going to focus negative attention on China until the end of the Trump administration. I do think that there is a qualitative and a quantitative change in the focus on China. Obviously, they are pivoting away from the Russia interference in the last presidential election, and they're trying to make China the, quote, enemy, rather than Russians trying to influence American democracy. I think it goes back to a Cold War mentality of America always needing an enemy, always needing them against us. I think with Donald Trump and trade, there's only one issue that's important, and that is what will help Donald Trump win re-election. Donald Trump is a believer in tariffs. I think that you've seen that with allies, and you've seen that with China. I think he just believes that tariffs work. Tariffs obviously are bad. They're a lose-lose proposition. They're a tax on consumers and businesses, and there's no real gain. But he doesn't believe that. He believes that tariffs, particularly unilateral tariffs, work. I think that the big issues right now are, do we step backwards? Do we go deeper into a trade war? I don't think that China wants that to happen. I don't think that China will let that happen. But I don't see progress being made. The global recession that was caused by the coronavirus pandemic has meant that it's been hard for China to meet its commitments under the first agreement from earlier this year to purchase American products. And without that, I don't think there's any way that Donald Trump would go for an additional second round agreement. So I think right now we just need to maintain the status quo, that China should continue to buy American products as possible, but I don't think that there's any reason to make the trade war worse. Just wait until 2020 is over, and then we can reassess what the economic situation is globally and the bilateral relationship is between the two nations.